McMahon. That's Vanselo, and now Broadbent. There's Ledbitter. Now it's Billy Bowden. He's going to come inside onto his left foot. Chris Lyons, and now Byron Moore. Blue and white quartered shirt, but you'd imagine there'd be some kind of reaction here from Bristol Rovers at the start of this second half.
Well, you would, I'm sure. Harold Clark would have got into his team and just said, look, come on, a bit off the pace, we need more. Started the second half on the front foot. It's the first time, really, that Byron Moore has had an opportunity to have a little run at Tony McMahon.
The big imposing frame of Tom Broadbent amongst those ready to attack this for Bristol Rovers. Lyons has managed to pick out Bowden, who couldn't quite bring the ball under his spell. He looks pleadingly at the referee after being left in a heap, but the referee not interested.
What a chance on the counter-attack there. Unfortunately, Jake Reeves couldn't find Nicky Law. He made a great burst down the middle.
It was a nice try at the set-piece from Bristol Rovers, just to try and catch Bradford out, but Billy Bowden just couldn't take the ball where he wanted to take it.
His first touch got away from him a little bit, didn't it? It's unusual for him.
Chris Lyons.
Only 2 minutes into the second half, but already there looks a bit more control about the way Bristol Rovers are going about the job here. Keeping the ball, looking after it a little bit better, moving it. Signs are good for them.
Ledbitter, Bowden. Bowden trying to trick his way through, but Vanselo aware as to what was going on.
He's already seen plenty of the ball in the second half, but he was very much looking for a penalty there. Touch just gets away from him. No real contact at all. Looking for that.
Well, Bristol Rovers did take a little bit of a punt on Billy Bowden when they signed him. He'd just come back from a long-term injury during his time at Northampton. But it's a move which has paid off. There's Chickson. Charlie Wyke using his strength and his frame again. Just got in front of Gilliatt, sent back in and wide from Charlie Wyke. Out of nothing, Bradford almost had a second.
Well, as a striker who was out of the goals, who's got his goal, and this effort here illustrates what that does for a striker. When you get back on the score sheet, gives you confidence, takes it first time. Decent effort.
Well, he's a player who started out Middlesbrough, Charlie Wyke, but he really came to the party when he arrived at Carlisle. 39 goals in 89 games for them. He's a player's real fans' favourite here. All action, plenty of heart. You can see what he gives the Bradford team.
You can, and you think who he came in to have to replace in big James Hansen, very much in the same mould. Already a fan's favourite.
Trying to put the squeeze on Leadbitter. Leadbitter wins out. This could be trouble for Bradford. It's Ellis Harrison who's picked up for Bristol Rovers. Had more for support. Harrison, the flex behind.
He's done really well there. And again, living on the edge when you're only one up in a game that you probably should be more. What a mistake from Tony McMahon. You think the chance has gone there, don't you? He's crowded out, but no, good feet. Works a little space and gets the strike away. Bags of ability, this lad. Bags of potential.
He's had his troubles at times as Ellis Harrison, but he's won the fans over in recent weeks. Circum. Chris Lyons. Doyle reacting. Lance cross. Byrne had stayed forward. And Doyle under pressure. Easy play.
Well, Roman Vansalo, it is the skipper, does a skipper's job there. That is a very dangerous ball into a very, very dangerous area, but as it comes in, who's there? Very important, because Jonathan Byrne's eyes must have been lighting up.
Charlie Wyke. There's McMahon. Now Nicky Law. Reeves. McMahon. Shout for handball. Certainly seemed to strike the hand, but very close to Tony McMahon. It will be a corner.
I don't know why players go mad at that, really, because what's the difference between a corner and a free kick where this would be taken? Really, not an awful lot. And the arm is up, but driven at pace. Certainly not worth getting upset about.
In by McMahon. That's Reeves. And the block from Broadbent. You know that the Bradford fans have seen some of Jake Reeves' blockbusters for FC Wimbledon, because whenever he's in the vicinity of, what, 30-35 yards from goal, they're urging him to shoot. Chickson. There's Polion. Polion's done well, surrounded. They were swarming around him. Eventually Bristol Rovers won the ball back, but not for long. Reeves. Charlie Wyke. Gilliard trying to pounce on it. Stopped in his tracks by Byrne.
Counter-attacks on.
Ellis Harrison lunged out by Vansalo, and a card coming out for the Bradford City cap.
Well, you did say earlier home fans love him and away fans don't, and that's precisely the reason why. He's very aggressive. There's no way that he was going to let Ellis Harrison get away there. Easy decision. The referee, David Webb.
Yellow card for Roman Vansalo, who spent the last 7 years playing in the English lower leagues. Left Lake Noreen because he didn't trust the people that were coming in to run the club. Then he left Coventry just in the nick of time before their relegation. But enjoying his time here at Bradford. Bowden. Nicely done by Billy Bowden. Law's after him. Well, he was dealt with in the end, but illegally so. Kilgallen's tackle. Well, that was the only way to stop this man.
Well, this does not belong in League One, does it? This quick feet, close control, it really does not belong in League One. Absolutely brilliant to watch. No wonder they love him.
Scored a cracker against Fleetwood, Billy Bowden. And his eyes lit up there. And Chris Lyons' eyes could be lighting up here. It's a big wall which has been built in front of Colin Doyle. No Bristol Rovers members in it. Wines hasn't taken it on, he left it to Lee Brown. Bristol Rovers are about to bring on Tom Nichols. We're hearing it will be Byron Moore to make way. Tom Nichols signed from Peterborough in the summer, who can play either through the middle or on the left of a front three. There's Gilead. McMahon. Gilead. Trying to leave Byron Moore in a spin. McMahon. Just always seems to dig out the cross, Tony McMahon. Doesn't need too much space.
A better spell for Bradford City, because Bristol Rovers have started the second half much better than they did in the first.
McMahon's delivery again. Byrne takes charge. Bowden. Law. Now Broadbent. Ollie Clark.
It's a much more even contest now, isn't it? That is for sure.
So here's the change. Tom Nichols coming on to replace Byron Moore. And unless there's a slight change in system here, Nichols should replace Moore on the left of this front three.
He had his big chance, didn't he, Byron Moore? Denied by Nat Knight Percival on the line.
Tom Nichols, a player who really came to the nation's attention after scoring against Liverpool for Exeter in the FA Cup. Had a good time at Exeter. Didn't quite win the fans over at Peterborough before making the move to Bristol Rovers and teaming up with Marcus Stewart again, who's Darrell Clark's assistant. The two were together at Exeter. There's Vancelow. Gilead. Now it's McMahon. Gilead pointed to where he wanted it. That's where he gets it. Now it's Charlie White. It's Law. Again, some really good approach play from Bradford City, but Bristol Rovers came up with the answer.
Yeah. You get the feeling there will be another goal in this game, don't you? Not sure which way.
A big appeal to handball there as Ledbetter slipped inside his own penalty area. Pulliam leading the protests.
I think Dominic Pulliam wants a corner, and I think for a second he's appealing for a penalty, but just really good build-up play. White is aware of Nicky Law. It's not a great effort from the midfielder, but this is the claim for a penalty. I mean, it's completely and utterly unintentional. Supporters don't care, do they? But what a different feel this half has had to it, and this is the reason why, because Bristol Rovers, who, well, I think 34% they had possession in the first half, controlling the ball an awful lot better, giving it away a lot less than they did, and that's why we've got a much more even game here.
Charlie White. Good hold-up play from the Bradford front man. There's Nicky Law.
Yeah, should have gone earlier. And the crowd are letting Nicky Law know that.
Yeah, I think Roman Vancelow is just, no uncertain terms, let Nicky Law know that. When Roman Vancelow speaks, you listen. Liam Sercombe. Now it's Bowden. Just wanted to turn back onto his left foot, Billy Bowden. Yeah. He ran into the crowd.
Crowded out. I think Liam Sercombe missed an opportunity there. Could have got the shot away, but a little bit unselfish. Trying to find Bowden.
Well, he has scored a couple already from distance, Liam Sercombe, in a Bristol Rovers shirt, but passed up that opportunity. Ledbetter.
opportunity to shoot. It was a good advantage played by the referee, David Webb, in the middle of all that. As this ball is laid off here, referee could have blown for a foul there. Plays a good advantage, Circum does well, drives in, but I don't think he had any thought in his mind of actually having a shot, which is unusual for him.
He had a strange end to his time at Oxford, Liam Circum. He was left out of the final few games for disciplinary reasons. But Oxford triggered his contract clause to extend his contract simply so they could get a fee from Bristol Rovers.
Really good flow to this game, isn't there, in the second half? I mean, there was a good flow to it in the first half, but it was mainly one way. Now we'll have a much more even game.
Bradford now into double figures for corners in this contest. Tony McMahon may have had the most touches of the ball on the pitch. But the cross to limit, Charlie White! A soaring header, he made that his. And Bradford again flexed their muscle from a set piece.
Well, it's every manager's nightmare if you're Darryl Clark. You're 2-0 down because your team have not defended 2 set pieces. I mean, once again, Jonathan Byrne is the one. There's a little block. It's a little bit clever actually by Bradford. There's a little block there that gives Charlie White that yard of space. Just have a little look at this here. And it's Nat Knight-Percival that gets the block on Jonathan Byrne. Gives Charlie White a free header. There you go, knows exactly what he's doing, Knight-Percival. And once Charlie White gets in that position there, he's not going to miss. He really isn't, but from a defensive perspective, Darryl Clark will not be happy.
Well, you know, we see the advantages and the disadvantages of zonal marking, and now we see it there with man marking. Players blocked off, players bunched up. And Charlie White came in over the top, and he punished Bristol Rovers.
It's clever. It's a clever set piece. Practice that on the training ground, week in, week out. Get the little blocks on. Give yourselves extra little half a yard or yard.
Gilead continued his run.
Make no mistake, there would have been hours and hours and hours. Look at that Knight-Percival. He's looking at Jonathan Byrne. Knows exactly where the opposition is and just hinders his opportunity of marking Charlie White. He's been effective at both ends now, hasn't he, that Knight-Percival?
It's a long road back now for Bristol Rovers, but they can still hold up the Warsaw game last week against Bradford as the example. The ball there by McMahon. Nice try.
I think every club that goes behind against Bradford City, until Bradford manage to hold on to 2, 3, 4, 5 wins when they've got themselves in front, everybody will point at the Walsall game and say never give up, keep going, because you just never know. For instance, Bristol Rovers get the next goal in this game, nerves might start kicking in the Bradford City players.
Tom Nichols. There's Leadbitter. Now Billy Bowden. Bowden! Well, there's a sign of his confidence.
Well, he just stands out like a Belisha beacon, doesn't he? Footwork, he's had a couple of shots now. Good effort. He is, without doubt, a very, very talented individual. As I said earlier, Darryl Clark, Bristol Rovers will be thrilled that they managed to hold on to him during that transfer window.
Words I wasn't expecting to come out of your mouth, but Belisha beacon.
That's where the beacons are from, isn't it, Belisha?
And we'll mark that one off.
Swiftly on.
There's Liam second. Leadbitter. Bowden. Nicky Law. Bradford on the front foot again. Slocum deals with it.
Well, it would have been brilliant. I mean, the crowd are marveling, aren't they? They really are enjoying this. It's a different type of Bradford City performance. So much energy in the team. Nicky Law epitomises that.
There's Gilead. McMahon trying to drop that in behind Broadbent, looking for Charlie White.
It's a great outball, isn't it, Charlie White? His hold-up play is so good. Powerful in the air, will run the channels for you.
Chickson. Vansalo.
A little bit of frustration in this. Uses his body well. And then Vansalo draws the foul. So again, it's an opportunity for Tony McMahon to go over there, get some quality delivery into that Bristol Rovers penalty area.
Here for Nicky Law, or is he just talking him out of moving away from the set piece? Charlie White looking for the third hat-trick of his career. In by McMahon, fighting again. Mike Percival unable to get on the end of it.
Well, the delivery is just so good. I mean, Charlie White isn't a million miles on getting on the end of it and getting that hat-trick look. He's the one that goes in first. Just a bit too much on it for Mike Percival at the far post. Outstanding delivery.
And again, Tony McMahon showing just why he is key to Bradford City and why Stuart McCall was delighted that he didn't lose him in the summer, despite expecting him to go, not just the set-piece deliveries, but the crosses he's put in open play. Leadbitter trying to do the same here for Bristol Rovers.
It's about keeping hold of some experience again as well, isn't it, really? Lost an awful lot, lost over 1,000 games. Players that had represented Bradford City for over 1,000 times, scored a lot of goals. It's a massive, massive thing to have to rebuild from that.
Patrick will be joining the fray shortly to add his presence to the front line for Bradford. Bristol Rovers readying a change themselves. Rory Gaffney is coming on to replace Ellis Harrison shortly. Bristol Rovers need to change things. They started the second half the better, but since then Bradford have pushed them back again. Polion, Wyke to his right, just delayed the pass.
Charlie Wyke is furious because there was an easy slot down the side, really. Did a lot of good work in the build-up there, Polion. Didn't release the ball, maybe a bit keen and eager to get himself on the score sheet.
Bristol Rovers just looking for something, just to change this game. There's Lee Brown. Nice movement there from Bowden. This is Nichols. Clark was motoring forward from his central midfield role.
Just showed a little bit too much of the ball.
Through the youth ranks of Bristol Rovers, said this is the strongest squad that he's seen in his time at the Memorial Stadium. Brown's corner, easily dealt with by Chickson. There's the difference. Harrison trying to keep it alive.
It's What I like about Bradford when they're defending that is they left a player up and they left a player halfway up, and that means that when you do clear the ball, you've got a chance that it might find one of your own teammates. Lots of clubs bring everybody back, clear the ball, and you know it's just going to come back.
On comes Rory Gaffney for Bristol Rovers to replace Ellis Harrison, a straight swap up front. Gaffney looking to add his physical presence now for Bristol Rovers. And there's the Bradford City change. Off goes Dominic Polian, who's put a real shift in here, particularly in the first half. And on comes Amari Patrick, for whom there's plenty of excitement about around here.
Yeah, lots for him to be pleased about today. Nice reception from the home fans too.
Stuart McCall's been pleasantly surprised by Amari Patrick. Really caught his eye in pre-season during their trip to Austria, which was arranged by Jurgen Klopp's son, Mark. Just so you know. There's Reeves. Charlie Wyke! His special moment! He has owned this game. He has written his name all over this game. And he will be going home with a match ball.
Well, it's that dreaded 3-0, isn't it? Dreaded 3-0, but I'm sure he's pleased. And it's the two arguably most impressive players on the pitch. Jake Reeves, look how well he does. Wonderful determination, and he just hooks the ball into an area, but once again the marking leaves a lot to be desired. This time it's Tom Broadbent at the far post, switches off. Charlie Wyke doesn't switch off, he knows Reeves gets that in. There is a chance, it's a brave header, because there's every chance that he's going to collide with a post there, but he doesn't care, he throws himself in, and he has his hat-trick. Charlie Wyke day.
Sense maybe the anxiety in that celebration, Stuart McCall. 3-0. Remember what happened last week, but no game's the same. And Charlie Wyke has stepped up to score the third hat-trick of his career, and that is some way to end your goal drought.
Absolutely. I told you, after he got the first one, saw the confidence in some of the efforts, seen the confidence in his play. He has been absolutely outstanding, and Bristol Rovers central defenders have not been able to cope with him whatsoever. You can see the dominance there. Sometimes Bradford accused of not being ruthless enough. Well, pretty ruthless today. That's a few games. That was the problem last season for Bradford, wasn't it? It was goal scoring. The defensive side of things was very, very good, very, very strong. I think they had the second best defence in League One, but goal scoring was a real problem, and ruthlessness. And there's just signs, aren't they, the last few games, that they have found a little bit of a way to get the ball in the back of the net, and that will stand them in very, very good stead.
Well, the owners are in town. Edin Rajic is based here every day. Takeover made headlines in Germany. Edin Rajic has invested his entire fortune into the club. His mum called him crazy. His dad said, go for it. He listened to his dad. Trying to run it like a Bundesliga club. They look across Yorkshire and see how Barnsley do their business, not signing a player over 24 years of age, a bit like Red Bull Leipzig, and they're great fans of that. There's Patrick, Charlie Wyke, now McMahon, Gillian picks up the baton.
You can see the confidence coursing through the veins of all the Bradford players, you know. They don't look like a team that are going to let a 3-goal lead slip this week, that's for sure.
Stuart McCall being serenaded. Bradford City through and through, the Bradford boss. You know who with the corner. That time it's straight That Slocum from Vansalo, but again, where was the marking for Bristol Rovers?
Again, Roman Vancelo's had now not one but two opportunities from corners that he really should be scoring with. Again, no marking, free header, straight at the goalkeeper.
Bowden again, you can see the clever thinking there, the brightness, the invention. It's just not been his day, not been Bristol Rovers' day. Patrick penalised.
No, I think the referee thought that Chris Lyons actually had hurt his head. I think he actually thought there was a head injury, and that's the reason. Charlie White has got a little bit of a problem, and that is a worry.
Well, he had just nodded towards the bench that he was in a little bit of trouble.
I just hope it's a little bit of cramp, maybe. Listen to this ovation, richly deserved, outstanding. Regardless of the goals, in every conceivable way, he has been outstanding.
This has been his day. His hat-trick, he'll go home with a match ball, Charlie White. And the fans rise to applaud their hero. And on in his place comes Alex Jones. Hearing it's cramp, the reason why Charlie White has left the field. So Alex Jones on in his place. It cost around about £250,000, Charlie White, when he signed from Carlisle in January of this year. Stuart McCall hoping that he will have a bit more money to spend in the January transfer window, because Bradford have been very good with their sell-on clauses. Nicky Wells to Burnley has netted Bradford around about £500,000, plus Andre Wisdom's move as well in the summer to Derby has brought in a bit of money for Bradford City. And credit Mark Lawn and Julian Rhodes, who ran the club before the current owners, for putting those sell-on clauses into the contracts.
Absolutely, here.
That's Clark. It's Tony McMahon. There's Gilead. Bradford tiptoeing forward. McMahon to wrap his foot around the ball.
I think one of the key things now Stuart McCall will be keeping a very, very keen eye on is how his players manage this 3-0 lead over the last 10 minutes. I was saying against Walsall, they were 3-0 up. They got a corner, Tony McMahon took it, they got a corner on the other side, and Tony McMahon sprinted across, and he's an experienced player, rather than taking his time and ambling across. So it's little things like that that Stuart McCall will be looking out for.
Deep delivery. Mike Percival met it. Bowden. There's Gaffney. No, it's not, because Mike Percival got back. McMahon. There's Jones. Gilead sticking out a boot. Broadbent trying to use his frame. It's been a tough afternoon for the Bristol Rovers back line. Let's not forget they've been without Tom Lockyer and Ryan Sweeney. 2 first choice centre-backs. That's Nichols! It was almost beautiful. Bristol Rovers do have a goal, and who knows, possibly a way back. Billy Bowden strikes. Well, great work from Tom Nichols.
Absolutely magnificent run. I mean, we don't see that he leaves the two defenders trailing, really. And he cuts inside, he bends a beautiful shot in there, and it just falls on a plate for Billy Bowden. And you just wonder, now then, what will the Bradford players be thinking? Do you think they'll be thinking about last week? You better bet your bottom dollar they'll be thinking about last week and how it better not happen again. But credit Nichols. He's just got Bristol Rovers a small lifeline in this game.
Yeah, Nichols with the effort, Bowden poaching, and Bristol Rovers maybe with a little bit of hope here. There'll be some rescue act, 10 minutes to play.
Well, now we'll definitely have an eye on how they manage this situation. I wouldn't like to be a Bradford player if it does happen again, that's for sure.
Maybe hope for Darrell Clark. There's Jones, Circum. Leadbitter giving chase to this. Will there be more of a spring and a step now, Bristol Rovers, now that they've got a platform here? Circum. Ollie Clark. That's Vansalo. There's Leadbitter. Bowden. Bowden again. This is Chris Lyons from the Filton area of Bristol. A dangerous cross from Brown. Colin Doyle on his goal line here, under pressure to deal with it. Tries to pour it away from his goal line, but suddenly you can feel the anxiety creeping in around here.
You can, and you can certainly feel it in the crowd.
Tom Nichols. Nichols again, trying to get in behind.
It's been a good response, hasn't it? Bristol Rovers to going 3 down. Goal is just, like you said, it's put a little bit of a spring in their step.
Billy Bowden now with 19 goals in his last 32 games. That wasn't the most spectacular, but he had to be there to finish it off. Gaffney the target. Knight Percival. There's Tom Nichols. Now it's Lee Brown. Fizzed in by Brown. Chris Lyons. Looking for a little bit of movement. Ollie Clark.
Shame, bit of momentum with Bristol Rovers. Colin Doyle wouldn't have enjoyed this. I mean, headed up and it's coming down under his bar. Bowden does well not to foul him. Goalkeeper does well to get the ball away.
For the first time this afternoon, worry lines on the faces of Stuart McCall and Kenny Black. Broadbent. Nichols has been lively since coming on. There's Circum.
Thank you for your support.
Tony McMahon. Bradford just trying to see off any hint of a comeback here from Bristol Rovers.
Well, what's interesting there is there was an opportunity to spring forward at pace on the counter-attack, but not too many Bradford players did.
Charlie Wyke, the man who scored a hat-trick, watching on, having been substituted. Couldn't bear to watch maybe as that Bristol Rovers goal went in. There's Gaffney. Now Brown. Nichols. Just put lines in a bit of trouble there, that ball from Tom Nichols. Jones will try and put the squeeze on Vorpet.
Different pattern, isn't it? Different pattern to the game since the Bristol Rovers goal. Bradford looked so comfortable. There is that psychology. It's massive, isn't it? But it has to be on your mind as a Bradford City player, having experienced that last week. You wouldn't be human if it wasn't.
Darryl Clarke has built a squad at Bristol Rovers. Got plenty of spirit about them. They have been fearless over the last couple of years. There's Patrick. Jones was lingering in the middle, but the ball didn't reach him.
He just couldn't wrap his foot around it. You saw the pace of him there, though.
Billy Bowden. Here is Patrick. What's the height of the Bradford ambition here? Nicky Law. Finds Gilead. Tony McMahon.
This is what Stuart McCall will want them. Just keep the ball. We're up in Bristol Rovers. And can we just keep the ball? Don't give it away. Run the clock down.
Gilead. He's got a trick or two up his sleeve. Patrick. Instant hit.
Good effort. He's looked very, very good today, hasn't he, Alex Gilead? All of Bristol Rovers' problems sets up. Mark Patrick can't keep the ball down.
Jones unable to pick out Patrick. Bristol Rovers winning run coming to an end. They've got a couple of minutes to try and turn this around. They've got still plenty to do. Later on in the World Cup qualifiers, it's Georgia against the Republic of Ireland, 4:30 on Sky Sports Football. Wales in Action 2 against Austria tonight at 7:15 on Sky Sports Football. Ledbitter. Nichols. There goes Nicky Law. Jones. Now Reeves, who's patrolled and patrolled well in that midfield area for Bradford today.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. There've been many, many excellent performances in the Bradford City shirts.
Reeves again. Gilead. Gaffney not too impressed, it's fair to say.
Could say that.
We're into 4 additional minutes. The job almost done for Stuart McCall and his team here. They've been given a bit of a scare towards the end of this. It's been a disappointing afternoon for Darryl Clarke and co, but Bristol Rovers will be a force in this league this season.
Well, they'll come again. And then what Darryl Clarke should look at is the calibre of the opposition that they're losing games to. They've lost against Peterborough, who are top. They've lost against Charlton, who are 4th. They've just lost against Bradford City, who will be moving up to 4th place on the back of this result. So they're losing against the teams that are going to be battling it out at the top of League One. It's where he wants to be. And I think some of his team will look at the DVD of today and they will learn lessons. I mean, the marking from set pieces has got an awful lot of improving to be done. The second half performance was much more acceptable.
Well, he's hugely ambitious, is Darrell Clarke, and he's hoping the club match those ambitions. Gilead. He's had a good afternoon. But yeah, plans for the new stadium for Bristol Rovers, they've fallen through, so it looks like they'll have to redevelop the memorial ground. Plans for a new training ground are in the pipeline as well. At the moment they train on just the one pitch, so there's work to do off the pitch at Bristol Rovers. Honest, they've had a fine couple of years, if not a fine afternoon today.
Head club heading in the right direction.
Don, your man of the match there.
Do you need to ask?
I don't think so.
Do you need to ask? No, man. Again, the goals were excellent, but all-round performance, strength, hold-up play, awareness, willingness to work, be available for his teammates. He's been outstanding.
Probably talking the gentleman alongside him there through the hat-trick he's just scored this afternoon. Is there to be one final flourish from Bradford? Tony McMahon with eyes on this. McMahon got the swing, but maybe too much swing.
It wouldn't have been the icing on the cake, it would have been the cherry on top, wouldn't it? It's not a million miles away, but you do feel Sam Slocum in the goal always had it covered. But they have knocked at the door time after time. 20 attempts at any level, decent effort, isn't it? And Sam Slocum has been forced to work.
There's Broadbent. Nichols. He has made an impact since coming on.
Well, certainly giving his manager a bit of food for thought for the next games.
No time to hang around for Bristol Rovers. Bowden's seen off for now. Chickson. There's Chris Lines. This Bradford team